Alright everyone, this article comes from the website Project End Search, and I want to thank Nancy who sends this to me. It's also over at beforeitsnews.com. Boy, we are full of October surprises on this October 21st, 2012. And here's the headline. FEMA ordered 102,000 boxcars with shackles. I'm just reporting the information as I find it and as it's given to me. I am not the one that wrote this article. But we need to be prepared. We need to be awake and alert. October is full of surprises. Let me bring you the story. And it was published on the 16th. FEMA ordered 102,000 boxcars with shackles. The facts: Gunderson prisoner boxcars with shackles. A report. Here is a summary of the previous information circulating about Gunderson's prisoner boxcars with shackles. Now, who are these boxcars with shackles for? And I understand there's a guillotine in each car. And from what I understand, it's for those of us that are awake, patriots and Christians. Now, from previous reports circulating all over the nation on this subject, which I have written, Brent Gunderson is challenging the information. Can you prove him wrong? Many people have raised skeptical questions about reports of prisoner boxcars and shackles being cited across America. Some people think that they are only reported originally through Phil Schneider in a Patriot interview. Recently, someone erroneously reported that my information on them originated from Phil Schneider. And the author of this article goes on to say, wrong. My research and documentation on the boxcars and shackles goes far beyond Phil's interview. Long before I heard of him, I had eyewitness information on these boxcars. A van full of eyewitnesses, missionaries traveling across America to evangelize and pray, stumbled across these boxcars in Montana, near Columbia Falls in Glacier. They describe boxcars, in this case painted black, with shackles welded into them and a modern guillotine at the head of each boxcar inside. As they were photographing mountain scenery, they decided to follow railroad tracks into the wilderness so as to not get lost. This is how they came upon these boxcars with shackles. I later reviewed a report from Lee Harrington of Valier, Montana, who was a professional metal worker. He told me how in Glasgow, Montana, summer youth workers were employed to weld shackles into boxcars in that operation. They were then shipped west to Glacier and stored on remote side tracks, passing through the Blackfoot Indian reservation in Cutbank. A local Blackfoot Indian, George Bullcalf, spotted these strange boxcars. When I interviewed local patriots in Columbia Falls, they confirmed that hunters often stumbled upon such boxcars on remote train spurs in that wilderness region. I then traveled to Portland, Oregon, and lectured in the home of an actual employee of Gunderson Steel Fabrication. The wife of this high-level executive called this meeting personally to make a public admission. In the meeting were other Gunderson employees who had witnessed the prisoner boxcars in the higher-than-normal three-floor, three-tier prisoner boxcars. She admitted that her husband finally told her that Gunderson was under secret contract from the United States government to produce these prisoner boxcars. She also admitted that Gunderson had a satellite factory for a boxcars with shackles operation in Texas. I called Colonel Jim Ammerman in Texas, famous military patriot lecturer against martial law, and told him about this. He replied, "A friend of mine who is a metal worker called me recently and said he had gone to apply for a job offered in Texas for welding. When he was told that it involved welding shackles into boxcars, he declined the job." I later interviewed Russian immigrants in this area who admitted that some of their people were working at Gunderson, and one young man, Sasha, admitted working on prisoner boxcars and described them completely to his Russian Christian friends there. The Russian community now knows about them and is very afraid of the implications. Many Russians still work there. Another source, Watchdog, a retired military vet, with a watchdog group, described yet another boxcar with Shackles operation in New Hampshire with 3 tiered boxcars fitted with Shackles. Metalworkers Lee Harrington also described 20,000 Chinese prisoner boxcars with Shackles and modern guillotines in the form of 40-foot railroad containers coming into America via the West Coast. They were ordered by the American government through a senator who visited China and ordered these items. Workers unloading them became suspicious and began to investigate and discovered these horrors from China. Such 40-foot cargo containers from China are now piled up along the West Coast, especially around Long Beach Naval Shipyard, turned over the Chinese. I receive constant reports across America regarding these types of prisoner boxcars from former radio listeners and patriots across America and Canada. Recently, a former high-level Satanist from the mountains of North Carolina, now a Christian and receiving discipleship, admitted the boxcars with Shackles were indeed in the mountains of North Carolina and waiting for the hour of martial law. In fact, Asheville, North Carolina. He warned that many patriots and Christians arrested and secured into these prisoner boxcars under martial law will never even make it to the death camps, that many will be tortured and sacrificed once restrained in these prisoner boxcars. Alright, I'm just bringing you this October surprise. I can't verify how true this information is, but I do want to thank Nancy for sending me the article. It's also over at beforeitsnews.com. Wake up, America. Wake up if you're a patriot. If you are awake already and you're a Christian, be informed. Leave me comments.